Shalom. It's Jeremiah Yakol. Before we start off, we need your praises to the Father and the Son. Barak Da Yehovah, Barak Da Yehoshua, Barak Da Yehovah, Barak Da Yehoshua, Barak Da Yehovah, Bahashem, Yehoshua, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Yahweh is the people ignorantly called God, and Yehoshua is the people ignorantly called Jesus. The so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans are the Hebrew Israelites. And also, you're getting led to, push this truth. And more than likely, you are also an Israelite also. So, today we be getting to a, news event. As of late, Trump has put, tariffs on China. And, China, did the same thing on America. And a lot of these countries are in a trade war, right now. But, this is more important than, just a trade war. These are strategic moves being made by each, country to try to weaken, their enemy in any way possible. Says China hikes tariffs on U.S. goods to 84% as EU also retaliates against Trump's tariffs. And China, Trump just put a 104% tariff on China, man. And this isn't just a trade thing. This is war. These trade tariffs or sanctions, whatever you call it, are an act of war. Because you're deliberately doing something to weaken your enemy. Just like on the battlefield. When you're shooting a bullet or a bomb or a missile or whatever it may be at your enemy, you're shooting that weapon to weaken him. And these tariffs, these sanctions are, there to weaken, the enemy. And, this is also important. While all this is going on, you have, the U.S. and Iran, Yemen going at it. These two conflicts are, connected. Because, not long before these tariffs and stuff started being put on China, they, did a blockade exercise around Taiwan. And, you look at a lot of goods and stuff that comes from, China, comes to the U.S., about 80 to 90% of everything that's in Walmart comes from China. And that's just Walmart alone. Just, in your everyday life, have you seen more things that said made in U.S. on it or made in China? Speaking from my experience, I've seen more things that say made in China. So, these trade wars are, boosting the tensions between, China and the U.S. also. And a lot of cars that was coming from these other countries, because these tariffs aren't, coming in anymore. So, that's weakening the auto industry economy. And, we get a good percentage of our goods, from China also. So, this, these tensions with U.S. and America definitely, will, develop into something bigger. Leading to further attributing to, famine, chaos, anarchy. And, not telling how many sleeper cells China already has in the U.S. in the event that they do go to war, even though we already know via prophecy that they will go to war. It's only a matter of time, So, yeah, man, this is definitely big, man. Because, these tariffs are an act of war. And you know that famine is definitely tied into these tariffs also. Because you know the U.S. China go to war. Trade stops. You can't forget a lot of the U.S.'s medicine comes from China. So what does that mean? A lot of these people that are sick are gonna, be sick, not be able to get their medicine, and, probably, die, unless, the Lord is with them. And on top of that, you look at our electrical grid, majority of the parts and stuff that come from it comes from China. So we are going to be in an active war with China. The military grid, is already weak, and it's only going to continue. The electrical grid is already weak, and as time goes on, it's only going to continue to, get weaker, man. So, where are you going to get these parts to rebuild these transformers and stuff like that? So, these tariffs and stuff is, definitely big, man. I got a precept before we close out. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, man. And, you see how majority of these, grocery stores right now is, full, merry, got everything. Man, soon, man, it ain't gonna be barely shit on them damn shelves. And if they do have shit on them shelves, the fucking price is gonna be fucking insane, man. Talking about hyperinflation. You got a fucking water bottle that's naturally $2. It's fucking $30, $40, man. Shit like that is, coming, man. It is hyperinflation, inflation. Famine. It's everything, man. And I'm gonna repeat that scripture again. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, man. Also in Ezra says, behold, many of them that dwell upon the face of the earth shall perish of famine. It doesn't say that in Esdras for no reason, man. So, tribulation and fucking famine that has never been seen before is coming, man. These scriptures don't say what they say just to say it. It's saying it because it's gonna happen, man. But with that, hope this lesson was edifying, through spirit and power. Yahweh Shimi Haushah. All praises unto Yahweh Shimi Haushah. Until next time, Shalom. And just, a positive, message for today. Don't let this physical world, break your spirit. Because, your spirit is way more powerful than this current and this physical world. But with that, again, all praises unto Yahweh Shimi Haushah. Until next time, Shalom. Keep pushing, Akyam and Akwathiam.